Tribe of Gad, 12,000. Tribe of Asher, 12,000. Tribe of Naphtali, 12,000. Tribe of Manasseh, 12,000. Tribe of Simeon, 12,000. Tribe of Levi, 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar, 12,000. Tribe of Zebulun, 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph, 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. Now, 12,000 out of each tribe, so that the 144,000 are divided by 12, and 1/12 is in each tribe, so that we know we're talking about the children of Israel. I don't see how anyone can spiritualize this and attempt to appropriate either to themselves or to some other group than the children of Israel, because God had promised, as we've seen again and again in the Old Testament, that he would bring them through this time of trouble, this great day of the Lord, and he would come and establish the kingdom, which we're going to see is first a 1,000-year kingdom, for it's a time of testing, and then it moves right into eternity. We have here in these 12 tribes, and one writer says there are 13 times in the Bible that the 12 tribes are given, and another writer says 18. I don't know which it is. I frankly didn't feel like that was worthwhile determining, but in every case where the 12 tribes are given, it's always 12 tribes. Now, sometimes changes are made, and I can't always determine what the change is. I can in some cases, but in some I'm not always clear in my own thinking. But I know God had something in mind when he did. Now, there are these peculiarities here, and I'm going to call attention to them, and I hope this is not nitpicking. I think it's important and significant, but I don't think it's essential to go into detail concerning these 12 tribes. Now, first of all, you will notice that Judah heads the list. The tribe of Reuben should come first, for Reuben was the oldest. But because of his sin, and if you want to check on that sin, it's back in Genesis, the 49th chapter, verse 4. And because of that very gross immorality on the part of Reuben, he lost first place, but he didn't lose out. Now, the question arises, when a Christian sins, does he lose his salvation? No, but he may lose his reward. Very frankly, there'll be many Christians that they're saved, but they indulged in sin, and they'll lose their reward. And Reuben here is a very good example of how God deals, and this principle is set down here. Reuben lost first place. He lost the place of honor, but he didn't lose out altogether, because he's given here, but he's number 2. He should have been number 1, and it was from the tribe of Judah that the Lord Jesus came. Then we find here that the tribes of Dan and Ephraim were omitted from this list. Both of these tribes were guilty of going into idolatry. If you would turn to Deuteronomy, the 29th chapter, verses 18 through 21, you would find that the tribe of Dan went into idolatry, and the tribe of Ephraim, because there in Moses' great prophecy, why that is mentioned. Then in history you will find that Dan was the first tribe that fell into idolatry. Now that's found in Judges, the 18th chapter, verse 30. And very frankly, the tribe of Dan became later on the headquarters for calf worship, because we're told Jeroboam made Israel to sin. And that's found in 1 Kings, the 12th chapter, 28 to 30. They are given top priority in the millennium. And in Ezekiel, the 48th chapter, you will find out that the tribe of Dan is in the millennium, but they weren't sealed for the time of the Great Tribulation. And that reveals that the grace of God can reach down and meet the need of any sinner. And though they were not sealed for the purpose of witnessing, and I think, again, this tribe lost out a great deal. Now, Ephraim was also guilty of idolatry. Many of you will recall not too long ago when we studied Hosea that Ephraim was given over to idols. And fact of the matter is, God says, let him alone, because of the fact he had turned and had gone into idolatry. I think probably I will turn and read that verse. It's found in the 4th chapter, verse 17 of Hosea. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Now that has reference to the northern kingdom, but remember that Ephraim was the leader there. And Ephraim was the tribe which led in the division of the kingdom in 1 Kings 11:26. And now in this list, Joseph takes the place of Ephraim. And we have to take the place of Dan, Levi. And I think the reason that Levi is given is because Levi was the priestly tribe, and they're going to be witnesses in the Great Tribulation period. And it's quite proper for them to be witnesses in the Great Tribulation period. Now, I trust that we can understand and see here that now God has turned again to the nation Israel. He'd not given them up. He'd said to Ephraim, "Oh, Ephraim, how can I give thee up?" God says, "I can't do it." And God didn't give them up. They are going to make it through the Great Tribulation period, even though they lost out as witnesses for God during that period. The 144,000 are sealed, especially because they're going to witness during this period. And it's going to cost them a great deal. And if they weren't sealed, they sure wouldn't be able to make it through. You see, God never leaves himself without a witness on this earth. Now we have brought before us another company of redeemed. It's a redeemed multitude of Gentiles.